everyone, Paul at ISM. Welcome to another inbox review. Today we're going to be looking at this Revival Ferrari 158 model kit. So I've been looking for slightly different model kits lately. Got loads of normal kits, as you can see, and you know. I bought some of the 12 scale, well, I've been given some of the 12 scale Tamiya kits. I bought a Model Factory Hero kit, and I was cruising eBay, spotted this, thought that looks interesting. It's multimedia, it's white metal, plastic, photo-etch, screws, the lot, all sorts of stuff in there. I thought that looks pretty interesting. Love the subject, it's a great looking car, and thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a whirl. Now, heard a few horror stories about them, but I don't think this one looks too bad for what it is. It's pretty simple, shouldn't be too complicated to build, and it looks a decent kit. So these are made by an Italian company, but I think they're distributed through Germany. I don't know, I'm speculating on what I've read and heard. I don't know. Now, they are still available. You can still get this one. This retails about €158 plus post. I got this second hand, completely unstarted, on eBay for £115 posted. So quite a bit off the RRP, and that's the reason I bought it. Different. It's a great looking car, awesome looking thing, beautiful shark nose on it, lovely colour as well. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to give one of those a go. Now, it's not a new kit, you can still get it, and I thought it'd make an interesting review. So we're going to go through the box, have a look at everything, and see what we think, and is it worth the money? That's the important one at the end as well. So like I say, if you've built one, or you know of them, or know about the company, or the car, or whatever, let me know in the chat, in the comments, please, and we can discuss it in there if you want. It'd be interesting to see anyone's feedback, and let me know what you think of the kit as well as we go through. So there we are. Right, so let's go and have a look through the box and see what we get. Right, so this is how the box is presented. Absolutely beautiful box art on the front. It's a stunning looking car, it really is. At the end of the review, I'll put some of the built pictures up that Revival show on their website. But this is what caught my eye. It's a stunning looking thing, it really is. If you look at the side, there's pictures of the engine, which again looks absolutely fantastic. All the back end's exposed, which is really cool. There's an engine cover for it as well, which you can remove and show the engine should you wish as well. Very, very cool. So it comes in a very nice box. Like I say, nice sturdy box as well. So inside, I'm going to be very careful with everything here. We've got a nice bit of foam to protect everything. And then we're in to everything that's in here. So first of all, we've got a catalogue from Revival themselves. Have a little look through that in a little bit. We've got our instructions, very basic, just on a sheet of paper. We've got some sort of weird rubbing, which I'm assuming is showing you how to make the mesh covers. I'm not sure what's going on there. We've also got a nice bit of packaging to hold everything inside too. And then in here we have our customer premium certificate. So I bought this second hand, like I say, so it was bought in 2013, and the guy's name who bought it is under the little slip there as well. So a nice little touch as well. And then we're into our decals and the kit parts themselves. So I'll spin this round. Hang on, no, we are the correct way. So as you can see, all the white metal parts are securely held in here. They're all held in by tape, so nice and secure in there, not going anywhere. Nice to see them packaged like this and not in a bag. Model Factory Hero's got a habit of chucking them all in the bag, and they do get damaged and misshapen, so this is a nice touch. All the bodywork panels are up here as well, nicely, safely kept in there, bar that one that's escaped. Now the body panels are pre-painted, and I believe it's enamel painted as well, and it's not the best, it's okay. It is more than passable, I would say. Whether I'll keep it as is, I don't know. Again, we'll have a proper look at all this in a minute. And then we've got bags. So in there, we've got rubberized hoses and wires and what have you. We've got the seat cover. No, is it a seat? It's a seat, yeah, and a rubber thing. I'm not sure what that's for, actually. In there, we've got a lot more white metal parts. I'll put my overhead cam light on now. It's not going to glare us out as much. We've got our mesh. As you can see, we'll go through all this proper in a bit. We've got a lot of photo etch parts in there. We've got a lot of metal parts in there, springs, screws, all sorts of stuff. Clear parts are there. It looks like, is it plastic or resin? Don't know, it's hard to tell. It looks like resin, but I think it is plastic. And more clear parts there too. Onto the plastic parts, the wheels, some of the engine components, suspension components, and our tyres too. So it's best off if we put everything back in there, keep all the paperwork separate, and I'm going to spin it round and we're now going to go to the overhead camera. Right, so we go overhead. So like I say, all the Wetmore parts are in here. They're all held in securely with some tape. Now I don't want to get every single part out because we don't have time to go through every single one. So I'm going to grab whatever comes out these top 4 places. So there's one part. So that looks like the bulkhead of the car itself. I think that's the the rollover hoop. I'm trying to find the picture of the car. The white metal is pretty well cast. It needs clean up, obviously. White metal always will, but it's not too bad. I think a bit of shot blasting like Will Patterson did might be a good idea, and I run over a file or a good sander as you order a day there. We've got what looks to be part of the engine, and again, not badly cast. Not badly cast all. Like I say, fitting these together, it's going to take a bit of work. This isn't going to be a quick build and everything's going to fit together. Everything's going to take a bit of working, but that's the nice, thing of this. I've got nice, easy kits to build. I've got some of the Tamiya bigger kits to build, which are going to be a bit more involved. I've got a Model Factory Hero kit, which I'll review very soon as well. And I've got this. So, I've got easy, difficult, harder, very hard to do. So, it gives me a whole range and plethora of models to build. So there we go. But these parts aren't badly cast. Like I say, they need clean up. Any white metal part will. But they're not too bad. And with them being securely held in this compartment, it's keeping them nice and safe. And, they're not all distorted and ruined and misformed and what have you. I'm going to grab, I want that suspension component in there just to have a little look at it. Now, I'm not going to get all these out because, like I said, we'll be here all day. But I'm just going to grab a few of the parts to catch my eye. So again, there's one of our suspension components. So again, it looks fairly well cast to me. It's not bad at all. Pretty uniform, pretty symmetrical. Not too bad at all. Yeah, my little boy outside. Do apologise. And let's have a look where else we've got. We've got engine block parts. Where are they? That's what they look like. Just trying to pick some of the more interesting parts. No, that's not that. I think that is one though. Let's have a look. There we go. That's an engine component. So again, nicely detailed. Looks good. Pretty well cast, to be fair. Now, whether it's all going to screw together, I'm not sure. I've not had a proper look through this car. I've had a look through the box, but I've not had an in-depth look at the kit or the instructions, because I always like to look at them with you guys and girls out there to get an honest opinion. But to be honest, the white metal, it doesn't look bad at all. So that shouldn't be, fingers crossed, too much of an issue. Whether it is or not, I don't know. Let's grab some of these bodywork parts. So this is the main upper part of the bodywork. Now I think it was baked enamel, was it? Maybe. But it's not bad at all. If I just give it a wipe over with my t-shirt, the finish isn't all that bad until he drops it. Let me zoom in a bit. So, it's a bit orange peely, but it's definitely passable. And cars of this age wouldn't have had a perfect finish anyway. So that's borderline whether I'd leave that be. Now, if I wasn't, I'd run it over with a decent set of either micro mesh or sanding pads, take it right back, prime it, respray it, 2K it, but I'm kind of on the fence here whether that needs doing. Like I say, it's a little orange peely, but there's no way this thing would have had a perfect paint job. No way. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think. But like I say, that is borderline. So that's the front part. This is the rear engine cover. And again, it's nicely It's nicely formed metal. I'm out of shot there, sorry peeps. Gonna bring my camera over a bit, there we go. Make you feel sick. So, it's nicely formed metal. And again, the finish isn't bad. So I'm kind of on the fence here whether this needs respraying or it can just be left be. I really am. Like I say, let me know your thoughts in the chat, in the comments. And we'll have a little discussion. So this is the underplate as well, that forms part of the shark mouth. And again, fairly well finished. Now the underneath part is a lot more orange peely. You can see it there. But again, it's still not bad at all. And then we have our side plates. This is one of the parts that escaped earlier. There's two of these, I'm not going to grab them both, we'll just have this one. And again, we've got some rivet detail there. And again, the finish, it's not bad at all. I am tempted to leave that be when I build this. Yes, but well made. Whether they're going to fit together, these all screw together. So it's going to be a good case of, if they're not actually threaded, which they're not, make sure your screws go through there cleanly and easy. And when you're screwing into threaded parts, make sure they're clean. It might be worth getting a tap and die set for this to make sure they're all properly cleaned out. But yeah, they're not bad at all. Not too bad at all. So they're all the main body components, as you can see. I've zoomed back out. So again, they're all nicely, safely stored up here. So what I'll do now is we'll grab some of these other components. I'm going to start at the top because just so I know where I am. Now, I might not open every single bag because there's a lot in here. I don't want to lose bits. Let me zoom us in a bit. There we go. So as you can see, all the bags are labelled. Make sure nothing's loose in here and falls out. So we've got 4, 5, 3 and 2. So like I say, I'm not going to open them all. In there we have a combination of caps. So I wonder if those caps fit over the screws. You've got little caps here. We've got a long bar. We've got screws. The screws look really good quality actually. They're all flathead unfortunately. So you have to make sure you get a decent flathead screwdriver that fits this. And it may even be worth doing the old gunsmithing trick of actually making the screwdriver blade perfectly fit these screws. That way you don't damage them at all. But yeah, so the screws look really good quality. Very nice. Obviously if you've built any of these kits, please let me know. Excuse the paint under my fingernails. I have been modelling, it's what I do. So yeah, the screws look good. So that's bag number 2. We've got bag number 3. I'm assuming they're the alloy rims for the wheels. We've also got some cylindrical bars and what look like rivets. On the back we've got some angled ball joints there, so I'm not sure what they're for. We won't know until we get to the instructions, so I'm guessing at the minute, and more rods and bars. The aluminium components, the screws and the other fittings, they're really high quality. Absolutely beautiful. Very, very nice. Again, that's bag number 3. We've got bag number 4. We've got some more rods. We've got the funnels for the engine. We've got some, are they lights? They could be lights. No, they can't be lights. This thing hasn't got lights. Again, all top quality parts. Really nice. Now, it would have been nice if they gave you a screwdriver with the set that was made for these screws. But sadly not. And again, no problem there at all. Those little intake funnels and very nicely turned. As you say, I'm not opening these bags because if I do, I'm going to start losing bits and bobs. I will open some things and we'll have a proper look. But these are staying well and truly shut. But yeah, really high quality components. Bag number 5. So what have we got in here? We've got some brass bolts, basically, nuts. We've got some turned metal parts, screws, springs, which are, yeah, they are actual springs as well for the suspension. And again, really high quality fittings, all nicely turned aluminium and brass. Very, very high quality parts in there. Really nice. That's bag number 5. So I'm going to pop all these back in their little bag. Like I say, if we were to open every bag, this review would be hours long. And we're not going to do that. So we're going to just skip past them as good as we can. clear parts. So in here we have some clear parts for, I'm guessing, the engine. Where's those instructions? Let's have a look, see if it's guessing. The instructions are a bit simple. Right, okay, so they're for the mesh covers for the engine intakes. Okay, and then we've got, okay, yeah, so that's what they're for. So they must be to form the engine mesh. Now whether you leave them in there, I don't know, I'm not sure, but that's what that drawing was showing us earlier. Maybe that's how we form them round, but the clarity's not great on those. But obviously if it's not actually meant as a clear part, it's not bad. Oh, the bag's actually open, so we can have a proper look at this one. So yeah, they're a bit rough and ready. If they're a clear part, I'd be a bit disappointed by that. So whether it's just for forming or what, I don't know. Does it show us? No, it just shows it going on. So like I say, if anybody knows, give us a shout out, let me know. So if they are clear parts, they're pretty poor, but I don't think they are. I think they're either for forming or they sit under the mesh, but we'll see. We've got the windscreen as well. Now I'm going to whip this one out because this is one part I do want to see. Let's have a look at the clarity of this. Now yeah, the clarity is a little bit better on this. Let me give it a little wipe. Try not to break it. It looks rather brittle. So I'm just going to clean the front for now. Yeah, the clarity is much better on that piece. Now it's pretty highly distorted, but it's a pretty sharp turn in there to do, but it's definitely more clarity than those other plastic parts, so I'm going to guess they're not actually used as clear parts. But the screen's not bad. I think that'd benefit from a nice polish with some Novus compounds to give it a good buff up, but overall that's not bad at all. Whether it's going to fit in place, I don't know. It needs a light run over with a sander in places. And like I say, I think once you give that a nice polish up with the likes of Novus or what have you, that won't be too bad at all. Like I say, this kit's going to take work. It's not going to be perfect. It's one of those kits where you're getting what you get, but it's not going to be as good as you hope. I think that's the best way to think. I'm just going to seal this back up. Yeah, you're paying a lot of money for a pretty premium kit that might not tick all the boxes for you, but I think it'd still be an enjoyable build. Right, so in here, let me show nothing falls out, so the bags are sealed. In there we've got all the rivets, so I assume they're for around the Bodywork 4. Let's have a look what we've got. Okay, so we need to drill those out. I know there's a lot of rivets around where the screen sits. Okay, it mentions nothing about drilling them out, but that is where they go. If you look there, there's a whole load of rivets around the edge. Now, there is indentations in the bodywork we looked at earlier. Oh yeah, they aren't. They're just actual studs. They just glue in place. Okay. Yeah, so they're like a rivet head without the rest of the rivet in there. So it's just like a little stud. So you don't need to drill it out. If you wanted to, you could, I suppose. You could buy some aftermarket rivets. I'll see what these look like. Again, they're in there. They're going to be very, very easy to lose, so be very careful with those. In here now we've got some photo etch parts, very, very thick photo etch parts. Let's see if we can open it up without wrecking everything. There we go. So I've no idea what the parts are for. Now, whether they're supposed to be thick, I don't know. They might be, because these look actually like they should be thick components anyway. But they're there. They're actually fairly well made, to be fair. They're not bad. They look like spacers of some sort. We've also got what look like turn screws, maybe for the bodywork, is it? I don't know. Possible. Again, the detail on those, in focus. Quite nice. Not bad at all. We've got some, these will be for the engine, I take it. Are they for the exhaust? Possibly. Again, nicely made. They are all varying in thickness, as you can see. I just nearly took that part off there, so I'm assuming that first fret is meant to be like that and it's not just shoddy photo etch. Again, more components. I'm assuming these are all for the engine. Very nice. And then a couple more round parts as well. So they're all varying in thickness, so like I said, I assume that is for a reason, for different parts and what have you. And I'm going to assume quite a lot of that is either for the bodywork or the engine. And again, I'm just going to chuck a little bit of tape around this, keep it safe as we go. There we are. And then we've got another baggie of bits and bobs. So we've got the front grille for the shark nose, really nice. Ooh, we've got some cogs in there as well. Make sure I don't lose anything here. There we go. Got a centre steering wheel there as well. So let me get everything out. So we've got cog, a little boss, a tiny little part. That'll be for the centre of our steering wheel. We've got 4 cylindrical parts, 2 different sizes. I'm assuming they're for the front and rear wheels. I'll bring these into shot. And then a rather nice, and that is actually a nice, not a bad little grille at all. And that'll be for the shark nose at the front. Very nice. Again, typical PE, you need to clean up. They're all off the fret. You just need to run over a diamond file or what have you. But no problems there at all. And make sure these all go back in their bag. What you do not want to do is lose these parts. It'd be an absolute nightmare. Because I think Rivet is an Italian company. What their customer service is like, I have no idea. I wouldn't like to find out though, if I'm honest. So again, I'm going to seal this up. Just keeping all these little baggies sealed as we go. Like I say, if you've built one of these or if you know anything about them, please let me know. Pop it in the comments of the chat and we'll have a look. Now this is the mesh, this is for our engine covers, and again nicely spaced mesh, very roughly cut, but this is the stuff we need to form around. Shouldn't be too difficult, it's nice and thin, looks very pliable. It's a little bit of careful manipulation, we'll get that in place. We've got a bag of white metal parts, so again we'll whip these open. Staples again. So we've got uprights here now for the suspension, I take it, running gear maybe. We've got a couple of drive shafts. They're actually quite nice. They're not too bad at all. So a couple of drive shafts, a couple of hubs I take it, and another engine component, again nicely cast. I think like I said, I'll invest in a sandblaster like Will had. Let's give these a good clean up. But again, looks nice, you know, can't fault it. What they're going to fit together like, I don't know, but a decent set of files, which I'm lucky to have, is going to be a necessity with this. Files and sanders are going to prove invaluable. And again, the uprights, a bit of flash on there, which you're going to get with white metal on parts like this. So it's just going to need a bit of cleaning up. Hopefully it's going to fit together well. Whether it does, I don't know. We shall find out. But like I say, to the fun of this kit, it's going to need some work. It's one of those. So again, no problems there. The white metal looks okay. Like I say, it just needs cleaning up. No dramas at all. Nice drive shafts though, I do like those. And they're nicely angled as well. Pretty well detailed. Once they're painted up and given a wash, they're going to look pretty good. Not bad at all. There we go. Right, so we've got our, assuming this is our seat. Very basic seat for back in the day. None of these bucket seats. Just a nice, simple seat. So this is like rubber. Actually looks pretty good. Just needs a little bit of a clean up on the sides. Got its mold point at the side. Give it a clean up. Probably doesn't even need painting, to be honest, because it's got the look. I'm assuming that would have been leather back in the day. I think, would it pass for leather? Don't know. Wouldn't know that till I popped it in the car and then I decided whether to paint it or give it a varnish or what. But yeah, it looks alright. Not bad at all. Then we've got another component which looks... I don't know where that goes. Let's have a little look in the instructions. It's the floor to the seat. Actually, so the seat actually goes that way. That's how they sit in it. Wow, can't have been comfortable. And this is the floor, so it actually goes under there, like something like that. So it's part of our floor, that. So there we go. Again, nicely made. Whether they're going to leave them like so, I guess on the floor bit may have been rubber, I don't know. Speculating now. Whether the seat was rubber, I'm not sure. Not rubber, but vinyl, what have you. I do not know. Right, so on to plastic parts after this. And then moving on to the bits and bobs. So this one is all rubberized. So it's one big fret of leads, wiring, I assume, maybe brake lines, I don't know. Hard to tell what they are, but they're all there. Actually fairly well made, to be honest. They're not too bad at all. Again, it saves you scratch building if it's already there. You glue them in place fairly drama free and give them a paint up or whatever they need. So they're not bad. Again, another nice little touch, not too bad at all. So we'll have a look at the instructions in a bit. They're a bit vague, but hopefully they'll start to tell us what these bits and bobs are, because I haven't got a clue where half this stuff is. Right, tyres. Usually they're good teller of a kit what they're like. Solid rubber. Dunlop racing on the side. Treads there. It's not bad. Certainly hard. I give it that. I think they're going to need a good clean up, bit of a wipe up with some airbrush cleaner. Give them a good clean, but they're there. The Dunlop Racing logo's on there as well. So that's the rear one. The front one, pretty much the same. Bit of flash around this one's going to need cleaning off. But on the whole, I've seen worse. I have seen worse. I've seen better too. But they're not bad. Not too bad. All four of them. Tyres are a bit bald. I don't know if they're semi-wet or semi-slicks. Not sure what's going on there. This one needs a bit more clean up than the others. It stink as well. Really smelly rubber. Guessing there's a bit of release agent on there. But yeah, they're alright. Like I say, I've seen worse, I've seen better. It's one of those things. I think anyone buying this kit should take it with a pinch of salt, what you're going to get, and just be aware that, you know, this isn't a build that's going to be easy. This can take a bit of work to do. So all the baggies of bits and bobs. We're onto our plastic now. Now there's one large spray that's out of its bag, and there's two little parts that have come loose. So if I zoom out, wobble the camera too much. We'll deal with that one in a minute. I think that's it. Yeah, that's all the parts. So there's two parts. I'm not sure what they are, but they've got a connector on, a filler cap on the top. So I'm assuming it's some sort of reservoir. But they've got the Rivet detail on top. The plastic isn't great. I'm not going to lie about it at all. I've seen much nicer plastic. It's reminiscent of nasty old, I don't even know what kit to refer to those, like Limburg kits, that kind of plastic. It's not nice at all, but it's getting painted, so who really cares what the plastic looks like. It's fairly clean. There's a seam line around all the sides. It's a tiny little seam line though. It's going to need minimal cleanup. The riveting details, not bad at all. It's not in any way you're going to sand off either, which is good. And the little filler cap on top, you can whip that off and put your own version on there if you want. You can buy them, and not bad at all. Not bad. So there's two of those, two identical, and then we're on to the rest of the sprue. So we've got what looks to be a battery. That looks like an instrument panel. Could be. We've got the pedals. That looks like steering. Part of the exhaust. I think this is your exhaust system. Suspension. So on and so forth. It's flashy. It's nasty plastic. It really is not nice at all. The details, it varies in okay, like on the battery there. The battery's alright, it's a bit vague in places and a bit soft. Gear selectors there. Again, if you look around, you can probably replace these return parts off different manufacturers. So it's a case of picking and choosing what you're going to use out of the kit and switch it out for aftermarket parts. But yeah, the plastic isn't great. Thankfully, there's not a lot of plastic in the kit. But like I say, for the most part, once it's cleaned up and painted, it'll look a lot better. But just some of it looks a little bit clunky, like the pedals. Again, you can cut those off and make your own. Bit of aluminium or whatever. Photo-etch. Sky's the limit with these kind of kits. You can do as little or as much as you like. But yeah, the plastic is pretty nasty. Now, we've got 2 sprues in here. So we've got 2 identical sprues. So we're going to ditch one, we'll just concentrate on the other. And then we've got 2 other parts here as well. Now, I'm not sure where they go. But again, they've got that rivet detail on them, as before, which isn't too bad. Again, same nasty plastic, it's very rough as well. And taking it as a cast texture in there for a reason. But it is horrible plastic. Very nasty. But at the end of the day, as long as it cleans up and fits once you paint it, it'll look just fine. I want to see what those parts are for, actually. Oh, they are the interior sidewall of the cockpit. That's what they are. Okay, so it's textured for a reason, whether it's a fabric or material or what have you. I don't know, but yeah. That's not too bad then. And then we've got wheels. Don't forget there's 2 of these sprues. So we've got front and rear wheels. Now I did read somewhere that the wheels are a bit clunky. Whether they are, I've got no idea. They don't look too bad to me at all. We've got a couple of engine parts there. Is that a fan? I can't tell if that's a fan or not. Let's have a look. My knowledge of some of these cars is shocking, I won't lie. Let's have a look, see what that is. Ah, it's part of the ventilated discs, I see. So those 2 cylindrical PE parts we had that were different sizes, one goes on each side of that and makes a ventilated disc. And obviously the discs are next to the actual engine, transmission. Before the drive shaft, so that's what that's for. So yeah, that's a nice little touch actually. That's not bad. Steering wheel looks alright. Like I say, we've got a photo etch center. I don't know if it's a replacement or what. We're going to get to these. No, apparently it glues over the top. Apparently, okay. So yeah, steering wheel's not bad at all. I don't think the wheels look that bad, to be honest. But I don't know. Somebody out there might be a Ferrari aficionado. I don't think they look bad at all. Again, softly moulded in places. The calipers, not bad actually. But some of the other parts are a little bit soft in places. Right, so there we go. There's all of the parts and components. I'm going to chuck everything back in there. Chuck the bags in as well in case we need them. There's our little rivets as well. Make sure they stay in there. We don't lose those. Let's make some room. I'm going to bring all the other paraphernalia over. And we'll have a little look what we've got. So we'll do the instructions in a bit, as well as all this malarkey, and the catalogue, which is beautiful. I've looked through the catalogue, I'm not going to lie. Now, decals. Let's have a laugh. Oh, I mean, I'll look at these. Let's see what they're like. Right. Actually. Yeah, they're not bad. They're quite thick. They are quite thick. I can feel a massive ridge on those. You trip over that if you walked over it. Ferrari logos are there though. They're quite nice. They're all in register. Colour's good. They're well printed. They just seem a little bit thick, but you know, back in the day, again, it's one of those things. Were these painted on? What were these? So, yeah, it's borderline what they're going to look like. I'm not sure what they're going to look like, but they look good. They just feel a little bit thick, but you know, it can be deceiving on the back and paper sometimes as well. What the decals like. The Ferrari Prancing Horse looks good. North American Racing Team. The front badge for the very front as well. On the whole, they look good. They look good quality, but to me, they just feel a little bit thick. Whether that's the case, I don't know, but we'll only find out when we build the kit. Now, we've got a couple more decals there, and instrument decals as well, and a prancing horse, which isn't the best for the steering wheel boss. The horse is a little bit vague. We've also got some weird stain into that decal there. Again, I'm not sure where it goes. I'll have a look in a bit. Oh, actually cartograph decals as well. Okay. So they're cartograph as well. See, they're a lot thinner. Those decals are thin. I don't think they're cartograph. These are. Because they're uber thin. There's no ridge to those at all. Bit of a shame about the prancing horse being a bit iffy. You can see it, you'll see what I mean. Stop my camera shaking. But yeah, they look alright. Like I say, whether they're going to be too thick or what have you, I don't know. We'll only find that out when we come to build it. It's one of those things. Again, let's pop a little bit of tape over the top. Right, so this sheet, I'm not sure what this is. To me, it's given the impression of putting that mesh over the top of those plastic parts to form the covers. Now, whether that's the case, that is the way I'd look at it. They've included the parts to help you mold these. That's how I see it. Whether that's the case, I don't know. But that's the way I interpret that. Which if it is, it's a nice little touch because it'll help you form these well. Put the mesh over the top, gently form it round, and then snip it clean, and you've got nice mesh engine covers, and then the clear parts don't get included. That's how I interpret that. Whether that's right or not, I don't know. Just quickly, we've got our Revival Custard Premium. So it's all in Italian, but as you can see, there's the date it was sold, the kit, and the customer's names on there. I'm not going to show it, obviously, because it's not my name. I've got the catalogue we'll look at in a little bit, and our instructions. So it's one big fold out sheet, starting at step 1, which starts with the rear. And oh, okay, that's a shame. So that part I thought might have been an instrument panel is actually for the front grille. So that's a bit strange. Would that not have been completely see-through? It would have been, wouldn't it? It is a radiator. That's what it is. So it must be a radiator. Okay, so that makes sense now. Fair enough. So paint that, get your grill on, job done. We're then on to the rear drivetrain. So again, we've got some of those brass parts, white metal, photo etch, more white metal, so on and so forth, and building up our pedals at the front. Step 2 starts with the engine. Very nice. Nice bit of assembly there. Going to be interesting to build and paint up and weather. There's our exhaust, which are plastic parts. Then we're onto our suspension as well. So lots of nice little washers there, all forming part of. Were they forming part? I didn't see that many washers earlier. Okay. Just having a little read. I'm assuming that's a single part for something else. And then we're on to getting some of these sub-assemblies onto the car itself. As you can see, so the radiator, the front steering and gear selector, that bulkhead, I thought it was a bulkhead earlier, the engine, rear suspension, gearbox, there's the braking system I was talking about, so there's those plastic parts surrounded by the 2 photo etch with the plastic calipers. There's our rear drive shafts, and again assembly of that. And then we're on to our interior. So there's our instrument panel, which I think we saw in plastic earlier. Are they fuel tanks then? Sat right in front of the driver. Could well be. Steering wheel, as you can see, there's a photo etch going onto the steering wheel. Some wiring to the back of the instrument panel. I'm guessing that's some sort of anti-roll bar at the back. And then we're on to wiring up the engine. Okay, so is that a distributor then? Could be. That component before we're assembling there is that. So there's some sort of distributor because it's got wiring coming out of it. More wiring going on. There's some of those photo etch parts we had earlier. Exhausts, which are those plastic parts. Shame they weren't in metal. It's a bit weird, but okay. And then final. Oh no, we've got one more step. We're getting the bulkheads in place. There's all the interiors. There's our seat, the floor, and those sidewalls. And again, those sidewall panels in blue we had earlier. And then final assembly. So, okay. So showing you screwing in place, getting the wheels on, assembling the wheels with the 2 halves and those nice metal parts to go on there. Wing mirrors, getting the bodywork on. No real decaling call out, but it's pretty straightforward anyway. And getting our rivets around the side and a few other bits and bobs there. So there you go. Pretty vague instructions, but it's pretty obvious what a lot of the parts are. It's just whether it's going to be clear enough to fully know what you're looking at. Right, instructions. So this is catalogue. This is going through some of their other kits, and some of these are beautiful. Mercedes 163, absolutely lovely. I was eyeing one of these up as well, but I thought we'll get one built first and see what they're like. The Auto Union Tipo C, again, very interesting looking car. Back to front kind of thing, very, very strange. Very cool though. Auto Union Record. Now, wasn't Auto Union what became Audi? Or something like that, I might be wrong. Again, look at that, that's so cool. That's the Avus. Very nice. Beautiful Bugatti 35, look at that. I love all the straps on for the spare wheels, absolutely lovely. Very, very nice. Now this thing's different, look at that. Excellent drivetrain, very agricultural. That kit does look a bit ropey though, especially in the catalogue. The others look good, that one looks really ropey. Beautiful, that Bugatti 35, that's stunning, that thing. Absolutely lovely. Very nice. We've got a Maserati 250F. Again, another good looking car. Absolutely beautiful. Now, whether you can still buy all these, I don't know. The Ferrari is still available, it's €158. It's a case of going onto their site. Just put Revival model kits into Facebook, Google, and you'll find it there. Another Bugatti 35, Alpha 159, that mad exhaust coming down the side. Very cool. Ferrari Alpha P3, another good looking car, those wire wheels are lovely. Very, very nice. I do love these spare wheels on the side, they're awesome, they are. Very, very cool. Then you've got the P3 Tipo B, again, look at that, twin rear wheels, very cool. Absolutely superb. Ferrari 500, beautiful looking car, that, absolutely stunning. Bit of weathering on the seat as well, like that. Very cool. Another version, beautiful, 625, lovely. The D50, that's a nice looking one, I like that one. Very cool. 246, F1 from GP Argentina, 1958. And then the 246. Again, that's beautiful. The wooden steering wheel, that's absolutely stunning. 156. Another beautiful looking thing. And there you go. So a little bit of a run through all their kit. Right, let's go back to me. Right, okay, there we go. What do we think? It's not going to be an easy build. I don't think it's going to be as hard as people make out. Might have a few issues here. In the white metal, you're going to need to probably fettle a little bit with some files and sanders to get it to sit straight, look correct, and what have you. The parts look pretty good. They're pretty well cast. Need a bit of clean up here and there. Because of the way they're stored in the box, they're not damaged or bent or misaligned. So hopefully that'll help with the situation. The bodywork. Now, I think it's borderline acceptable to leave. I will get a better finish taking it back. I could probably even strip it all off completely, or at least flat it, reprime, respray, re-clear. But in my eyes, it's an old car. What year is this? 1964. Would this thing had a flawless paint finish? I don't think so. Would it had a bit of orange peel? Maybe. I don't know. I'm speculating again. But I think that bodywork's borderline acceptable to leave. And yeah, I'll play that by ear as I build it. The plastic is terrible. It's reminiscent of nasty old limber plastic. But the detail is there where it's kind of needed. It's a bit soft in places. Once it's painted up and weathered, are you going to notice it as much? I don't know. It's one of those things. It swings around about this. It's got real good plus points. Like the wiring harnesses are rubber are great. The fittings and aluminium parts look top quality. Even the photo-etch looks pretty decent as well. It's just one of those things. It's a pinch of salt with some of this that you're going to have to accept what you've got in places for others. Like I said, the photo-etch looks good. The aluminium parts, fantastic. Screws are top quality. Make sure you get a screwdriver that fits those properly so you don't ruin the heads on them. Decals, again, one of those things. We're not going to know until we put them on, but I think they look okay. It's just not going to know until we build it. It's as simple as that. But they look alright. The colour's good. They're in register. They're well printed. So hopefully they'll be okay. And that's it really. Tyres looked alright. On the whole, am I happy with it? Yes. Is it worth the money? I wouldn't pay the full retail, I don't think. Before I paid, I'm happy with what I got. I think it's going to end up at least £160, £170 by the time you get it delivered. It's quite an expensive kit for what you get. I'd rather buy a second-hand Model Factory Hero kit for that price. Maybe have a bit more fun building it, which, speaking, that's one of my next reviews to do. It's one of those. It's one of those again where it's you that can decide if it's worth it. For me, like I say, the price I paid, yeah, full price. I don't think it is. I think they're a little bit on the dear side, but if they go together well, it'll be a nice kit. I don't know who the manufacturer offers this car. It'll certainly be a nice, interesting build, and it looks amazing. It looks absolutely stunning. So there we go. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's worth the price? Is it going to be a nightmare? Should I respray the body? What do you think? Let me know. It's going to stay the same colour, obviously, but we'll find out. So there we go. As always, leave a comment. I reply to all the comments in the chat. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Subscribe to us. Hit notifications so you get notifications of all our videos. As always, check out the Essential Scale Model Facebook page and forum, umpretail.com, the Modelling Hangout group, the Paul ISM Facebook page my work is shared, and the Friday Night Live Facebook group as well. All the links for those in the description down below. If you want to find Revival, Google Revival. If I think I'll put the link in the description, so have a look for it and it'll be there. If not, Google Revival. There's a few of them on eBay as well. But have a look at the kits to see how complex they are. Because the more complex it is, the more problems you're going to get because parts don't fit, the next one doesn't fit. Before you know it, you've got a big mass of crap that doesn't go together. There we are. So let me know what you think, and there we are. So I'll see you tomorrow. If you're watching this chronologically, I'll be back Christmas Eve morning with my little boy James. And we'll do our last bench update before Christmas. And make sure you tune in on Christmas Day for our Secret Santa opening around 1 PM UK time. We'll be back next Friday with our live show too. If you didn't see it, go back and watch this Friday's show. About an hour in, and you'll see Graham surprised by Santa. It was brilliant. So there we are. Hope you like that review. Catch you later. Take care. Bye-bye.